Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to Dragon's World. Last Friday, I went to Las Vegas to audition for a show called Shark Tank, where you pitch your ideas for a business to investors so that they could potentially invest in you. It was a cool experience. There was over 500 people there. There was only 4 people that you talked to that was actually getting all the information for the sharks to potentially be on the show, and it took forever. I got there at 8 o'clock, and I wasn't even seen until about 4:15. Then I had a 1 minute pitch to pitch a grand vision, which was very difficult to do because they started talking on the microphone when I was talking, and I started losing my train of thought. But it is what it is. It was a good experience. But one story that I want to tell you is when I was standing in line, there's this lady. She looks at me and she goes, "Are you presenting?" I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "Are you a cop?" I was like, "No." And she goes, "You look like a cop." I said, "I'm not a cop. I got a wellness company that I'm presenting that's going to change your life." And she was like, "Oh, okay, cool. What is it?" And I tell her what it is. It's basically an all natural, tattoo safe product line for skincare. And she was like, "Oh, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool." But that's not even the vision. That's just products to sell to make money to build the vision, which is Dragon Flow Wellness, which is going to be a vibrational wellness company to help people shift their vibrational frequency from a low vibration into a high vibration. Now, there's a lot of steps to it. And when I walk around Las Vegas and I see a lot of the workers in the hotels and stuff like that, you can see that they're holding on to some sort of energy, which it could be an emotion. So think of your emotions as like spirits, right? You have negative emotions, anger, sadness, worry, guilt, shame, remorse, feeling tired. These are all like energies. When you walk around the casino, you can see a lot of the workers, their face tells the emotion that they're in, or they're just checked out. They might not be thinking anything, they're just gone. They're just a vessel walking around with no soul. So, the reason why I came up with this idea was to help people bring joy back into their lives. And when you have a collective consciousness joyful around each other, then it spreads like wildfire, and then the whole city starts to light up. And we are, I don't know if you guys are ready for this information yet, but we're in war right now. It's an energetic war. Energy, vibration, frequency. A lot of people talk about manifestation on the positive note. Well, it goes the same way on the negative note. So the more you pay attention to negative stuff, like on television, the news, the media, all that stuff, it takes a hold of you. And then when you compound it with drinking alcohol, doing street drugs, which put you on a high, and then you go on a real low, now you have a roller coaster of emotions. Now you're an unstable person. You're an unstable emotional being. So the whole idea is to convince people to really stop drinking alcohol and really start paying attention to their health and focusing on being happy. So when you're happy, the world will mirror back to you your happiness. When you're sad, the world will mirror back to you your sadness. And it's kind of crazy because even like when I started recognizing my own awareness, I started winning lotteries and I started winning multiple jackpots. Not the large jackpots that make you like do backflips if you don't even know how to do a backflip, but I mean like top prizes on scratchers, $500,000, $2,000, multiple times, a bunch of daily threes, a bunch of fantasy fives, stuff like that. And the way I'd do it would be I'd just be at peace. I would have fun, and then the universe would like move the scene around, and I would just see numbers. Same thing with like sports betting. Um, for instance, I was leaving the Win, and this truck goes right in front of me, and it said Blue Jays on it. I was like, Blue Jays? The only Blue Jay that I know is in Arrowhead Mountains. there's a city called Blue Jay. So I didn't think nothing of it. And then I'm driving to the Durango. I love going to the Durango. I like eating at Nico's. I like their pizza. And I like their sports book. I like hanging out in just that atmosphere right there. So I'm getting ready to pull into the Durango, and this plumbing truck pulls right in front of me, and it said Blue Jays Plumbing. And I was like, that's strange. I saw Blue Jays over by Wynn, and now I'm seeing Blue Jays right here, right where I'm pulling into the Durango. Are the Blue Jays playing today? So I go on my phone, I look. Yeah, the Blue Jays were playing, and they were an underdog. So I should have put all my money on it. I should have, because that's when the universe starts talking to you and starts showing you signs and symbols. So I just go in there. I just put, I think, like 20 bucks or something like that, and I hit. It was a good look too for 20 bucks. I was super impressed. I was like, oh wow, I should have put way more. But that being said, when you shift your vibrational frequency into a state of peace and calmness, you're able to perceive and become aware of what the universe is trying to tell you. And that's why I developed Dragonflow Wellness, because most people are so and have so much anxiety, and it's not necessarily that they have it. They might be picking it up with somebody else. You might be picking it up from your work. If you work at a casino, you might have all kinds of nerves in there because people are gambling, so they're like super nervous. And if you work there, you absorb their energy, and then when you go home, you're like drinking, trying to relax, trying to chill. But what if I created a wellness center in Las Vegas that allowed you to find your peace and your calm again? Because this is what I do. I live in a peaceful world. I'm super calm. And you're not going to catch me at a club. You're not going to catch me wilding out. You're typically going to see me in nature. You're typically going to see me relaxing, or working, one of the two. But I do the things that I do to keep myself calm, because when I'm around you, I want you to feel calm or peaceful. And it doesn't mean that I don't absorb the energy, because I do, because I'm super sensitive to it. That's probably why I'm always in nature, like hugging a tree and like a stream, getting rid of these emotions and stuff like that. But this is why I want to start my wellness center and build up my brand, Dragonflow Wellness, because I have ideas, and I'm starting to see the ideas out in my reality and other people's things, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I was gonna do that. Wait a minute, I was gonna do that. It's almost like things that I've been talking about just keep freaking happening. It's the craziest thing, almost like I'm the king of my world, and like the people in it are just other versions of me, doing what I'm saying. It's kind of crazy when you start thinking of it like that. But I ended up coming back to California last night, and I had a meeting to go look at painting some cabinets, and it just didn't work out. So I started driving around Rancho Mirage, and I found a place in Rancho Mirage that would be really, really cool to build one of these wellness centers. And I was looking at it, and I don't have the actual capital or the money to even build it. So, but I was like, hey, because I used to do tenant improvements for building owners, and they used to do build a suite for companies. So I was just asking, hey, if I'm a contractor, do you think if you pay me to build it, I'll just take the money and pay you back? I know it's crazy. Or if I get a whole bunch of sales and then I'll build this out, that'd be cool. Well, I think they showed me another suite that was smaller, which I could definitely probably do for sure. And then just start building up the bank, because my vision is so grand and so large. I need a lot of money to really be able to build it the way that I see it in my head. So I found another place in the same complex, Suite A, for it's a 1,500 square foot um, building to build my skin bar, my skin oil bar. So now I'm like, okay, now I got to figure out, okay, how am I going to get the money and the resources to do this? And I always come back to, like, if I can get some sales, you know? So if everybody tells everybody that, I have a good product and the products are reasonably priced, then that would help me fund what I want to build. So I don't want to go and get a job, that's for sure. I haven't worked a job since I was 20, 23 years old. Started my first company when I was 24. And then next thing you know, I got hooked on pain pills, and I was like an egomaniac. I worked 24 hours a day building my company, build it into a very, very successful company. But at the same time, it was like a roller coaster because I was so young. I grew up poor. I didn't know what to even do with the money, so I just partied, and that didn't help things. But I still always went to work and always had things coming to me and working because that's just what I did. I did really good work and I had a really good pricing. But you know, the old saying is people have midlife crisis. Well, I always thought a midlife crisis was gonna be like where I finally made it and I'm gonna probably lose my girl and I'm just gonna be riding in my Lamborghini all by myself. I was like, that's a midlife crisis. Nope, not at all. The midlife crisis was getting electrocuted, and then 2 weeks later getting bit by a poisonous spider, and then on my way home hit by a truck the same day, and then a month later from that falling from a building, breaking my ankle, and sitting me down. Next thing you know, I ended up in freaking China, uh, off and on for about 3 months. And during that time, I'm going through therapy and learn how to heal myself and all of these different things. And then I'm like finding out new massage oils because the oils that they used to use on me would jack up my tattoos. Like they would hurt. The lines would be popping out and I'd be scratching, itching them. Like, what the hell are you guys putting on me? So I had to develop my own personal a massage oil, and then when I would get like massage therapies to help get my nervous system back in check, massage therapists say, "What kind of oil is this? This is good oil." And me being a businessman, I was like, "Oh, freaking! I'm gonna create my own massage oil right here. That's tattoo safe." And then from there, I started getting into going into the sauna after I got back from China because China was so hot. All I did was sweat there, and I lost 45 pounds. So I was like, you know what? I got to start going into the sauna. And so as I was going to the sauna, my face started getting chapped, my nose started getting chapped, and I decided to develop a balm to protect my skin. And then lo and behold, it ended up being more beneficial than that. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna create a sauna balm that protects your skin, and market it towards people that want to detox, fighters that are cutting weight. If you just want to have a softer skin, or just if you're in Chicago or New York and you have chapped cheeks or something like that, and you want to protect your face from the cold, it's really good stuff. And then from there, I came across essential oils, and then I have a friend that's Vietnamese, and she got me some lemongrass oil from Vietnam, and lo and behold, it ends up hits a really good insect repellent. So now what I do, I just take the lemongrass and I put it on rags, and I just put it in my house or in my car or something like that because it smells good. But it also keeps insects away. Who would have thought, you know? So now you don't have bug spray in your house or in your restaurant or whatever it may be. You just buy my lemongrass, and next thing you know, voila, you're gonna have a good smelling, natural insect repellent. And who would have thought nature is the cure for everything, right? So then, you know, I grow out a beard, and it doesn't really grow in, and it's like really like that. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna create a beard balm. So I created a beard balm and start putting it on my face and stuff. And I was like, you know what, I got some cool products. If I can just figure out a way to sell them and build up my bank, then I could build my wellness centers and stuff. So I'm out looking at properties right now and just getting ready to do my thing because you know I everything I talk about I can build. Everything, everything I could build. And if I don't know how to do it, I have someone around me that does know how. Because I was a contractor for 20 years, still am. Well, I was one too. So the whole idea is with Dragonflow Wellness, I'm going to stimulate my economy. So as I'm building them, I'm gonna have all my friends come and just say, "Hey, look, let's build some cool stuff. We'll just build them all over the country and all over the world." And then next thing you know, once these are all bringing in money, Then I'm going to go out and build my wellness centers. I want to build them in every single part of the world. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of like ley lines or energy centers. Well, throughout the entire world, we have energetic ley lines that look like, you see the dragon here? Think of them like this. It's just all energy, right? So it's all energy in different parts of the world. And in these parts of the world, you unlock different energy centers within your body, all the way from your root chakra up to your crown chakra. And that's what I experienced while I was in China. I became super spiritual when I was there. And I think the electrocution has something to do with it as well. But in China, I just became super spiritual. I lost 45 pounds and then I became psychic, so to speak, because I started to pick up people's thoughts, and it was just the craziest thing. I lost my mind for a while. It looked like people weren't even people to me anymore. And then when I was at Dan Pena's castle in Scotland for his seminar to learn business, it was kind of crazy. It's like I became super sensitive. I guess in somewhere in England, in this little area right there, there's like a heart chakra that opens up your heart, and then you start thinking about like things that you've done to people, that you've unknowingly done to people, and you feel sorry about it, and you just, like, cry a lot and stuff like that. They call it like the dark night of the soul that I went through. I don't cry anymore, but back then I was like turned into a sissy. I was like, crying all the time. I'm sorry, telling people, and they're like, dude, I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm like, but it's coming to me. So it's like I was like going through all these emotions and stuff. It was so crazy. But now I'm just like chill. I just kick it. I'm not too high, not too low. Sometimes I get too high and I'm like, people probably look at me like I'm crazy, but that's the part, that's what they call the Holy Spirit, right? You're filled with joy. And that's what we're all about, is bringing that inner joy out of us again. And that's what Dragon Flow Wellness is about. So I'm rambling here, but I'm not, because guess what? If you have, I got to tell you guys this. If you like my brand, if you like my products, then I can also white label for you guys at a wholesale price if you don't want to carry my products, or if you just want to support me and buy my products, that's cool too. Um, you know, one thing I got to tell you guys is, if you're a parent, you've got to figure out a way to find your inner joy so that you don't yell at your kids, and so that you don't make your kids feel the emotions that you're feeling. Because kids are the joy of the world, they are the light, they are the future. They're here to vibrationally change the world. And we are on a negative vibrational frequency right now collectively. And what a light warrior is just that, a child coming into this world to spread its light and show us adults what the light looks like. And us adults that have woken up from the darkness are here to protect the children and help guide the ones in darkness into their own light. And again, that's what Dragonflow Wellness is all about. There's so many gyms out there that do a part of what I do, but none of them are going to do exactly what I do, because only I can do it. I mean, other people can probably copy me and make money off my ideas, but at the end of the day, why do that when you can make money with me instead of taking the idea and not doing it? It's better to work as a team than not. So it's kind of strange too, because like once you wake up, you start seeing that there's a negative and a positive world, and you start seeing how spirits or emotions or thoughts go from person to person to person to person to attack the kings. Um, Being awake and being chosen isn't for the weak. I'll tell you that much right now, because there is a dark energy on earth, and it's what in the Bible they call the devil. It's real, and it works through people to attack the light. So imagine you are the devil. Don't imagine you being the devil. Imagine the devil not wanting God to help other people awaken to their joy. And that's another story in itself, because once you know how things work and how the devil is trying to kill God on earth, you'll say, wow. And I don't want to get too much into the Bible, but greater is he inside of you than he that's inside of the world. Jesus was the blood of the lamb. The lamb is a mammal. The blood of the lamb. The blood inside of you is greater than the flesh in the world. The blood is what heals you. When you have pure blood, your blood is what fires up every single cell in your body, especially when it's oxygenated. So, if you were the devil and you wanted to kill God, what would you do? You would poison him. You would contaminate the food. You would give them drugs. You'd give them alcohol. You see, we're in a spiritual war, folks, and my products are here to help you detox and find your inner joy again and spirit, combined with massage therapy, breath work, hiking, uh, meditation, and amongst some other stuff that you can do. That's why having a wife is so important. If you're a woman, that's why having your own husband is so important, because it's two energies. It's a masculine and a feminine energy coming together to bring one energy into a more powerful energy. So if you could grasp what I'm saying right now, you'll understand, like, you'll start looking at your own life like, hey, what's going on right now? Why is this happening? Why is that happening? And then you start questioning everything. So with that being said, I'm going to keep doing this. I'll get better and better at it, but I kind of like this little podcast area. This is my book, When I Woke Up, My Bad Habits Led Me to Light, and I Changed My Reality. These are my products. Please go to my website at dragonflowwellness.com to pick up your massage oil, lemongrass, beard balm, sauna balm, skin oil, mosquito repellent, reef safe, tattoo safe, sunblock. Help me get my wellness center built. It's time. Time is now. I'm running out of time, and I'm ready to get busy. So, with that being said, y'all have a great day. We'll talk soon. Dragon out.